Good morning. Happy Sunday. What's up, YouTube family? This is Leah Boone with Monarch Ministries. Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. I've been out for a few days. I've been working really. I worked all day Friday, and then I tried to work some yesterday, and I was tired from working all week. But I'm back, and the Lord has been speaking to me about swans. And I've been seeing this for a few weeks, and I mentioned it in another video a few weeks ago. But there was this story when I was growing up called The Ugly Duckling. And if you are not familiar with it, you can Google the story and read it. The original by Hans Christian Andersen. It's a story about an egg that was in the nest of a duck, and all the other little ducklings had hatched, but the big egg had not hatched yet, and the mother kept sitting on the egg to see if this egg was going to hatch. And she thought maybe it will be a turkey, but then she thought, no, we will see. And she sat on the egg, and the egg finally hatched. It took longer for this egg to hatch than the other ducklings, and when it finally did hatch, there was this ugly duckling that came out. And if you've ever seen a baby swan, they're not ugly, but because it was different than the other ducklings, because it didn't look like them, because he was bigger, because his feathers were a different color, they all thought he was ugly. All the farm animals were making fun of him. The other ducks were pecking at him, and he had to go through all of these horrible trials and tribulations, being made fun of, mocked, kicked by the farm mistress, being pecked at by the other birds, and he was not accepted. And so he flew away a little ways to another moor, and he discovered, that he could dive down deep in the water, and this was something that the other ducks couldn't do. But where he went at this farm, they did not accept him again, and they kept calling him Ugly Duckling. And they were like, you need to at least learn how to purr like a cat or be of use to lay eggs. But he was a male swan, and he didn't really know, where he fit in or who he was. And it was just because he was different. They all tried to tell him that he needed to do things that were like the others. You need to be like us. You need to perform like us. You need to be of use here and do something, that we do, and conform to what we're doing. And he went into these seasons of his life through the fall and the winter season. And he eventually even saw other birds that were like him, other swans, but he didn't recognize them. He didn't know what they were, but he felt this connection to them. And so he ended up staying at the pond where he was, and it iced over, and he got stuck in the ice, and another bird had to come and peck him out of the ice. And so he went to this family, and this family had children, and they were messing with him, and he got scared, and he ran out the door. He flew out the door, and he nestled in some snow. And eventually the spring came, and the migrating birds, which were the swans who had flown away for the winter, came back. And when he went to go see them, because he was very curious, he looked down in the pond, and he saw a different reflection than he had seen before. And he was beautiful like they were. And the family saw him after the winter, and they thought he was beautiful too. And they were like, oh, look, another swan, even greater and more beautiful than the other swans. And he was accepted. But because of all the trials and tribulations, because of the not fitting in and being different, having all the mocking and the pecking and being made fun of and not being accepted anywhere, when he became this beautiful, great, glorious bird, he didn't have any pride left in him, and he was humble. And so the Lord, was speaking, this is what's taking place. There is great change coming in the months ahead, in the seasons to come through the fall and the winter months. And the Lord is saying you're not going to be able to recognize yourself. The things that I'm doing in you, the things that I'm producing in you are going to cause great change. Changes in the air. I've been seeing change. And the Lord has been confirming this. Allow the Lord to work in you and through you and through the things that he is doing inside of you, through all the trials and tribulations, the pain that you're facing, the mocking, the slander, the stuff that you've been through in your life. It's going to produce something beautiful. And you're going to see change. And other people are going to see it. And you're going to start to receive recognition for that change. But the Lord has been cleaning you and preparing you. And you didn't really realize it, but all this stuff that has happened to you has completely wiped out any form of pride from you. And it's making you humble. When David came before Samuel, they didn't accept him. He was rejected. And the Lord said in 1 Samuel 16, verse 7, it says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look at his appearance or at his physical stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord does not see as man sees. For man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." God knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. Jeremiah 1, verse 5. I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. I chose you. I ordained you as a prophet to the nations. God chose you. He chose you and ordained you. He has anointed you. And it was because of your heart. And you were different. You weren't like everybody else in your family. You were probably the black sheep. Swans are gray when they are hatched and they develop their white feathers later on. There's this process that God has to take you through to be able to develop you into this beautiful, giant success that is just awe-inspiring when people see you and hear you, the things that God has done to you and through you. And it's going to make them want to see what did that to you. Other people will see this transformation. Swans are a representation of transformation because the huge transformation that they go through from duckling until their maturity. Swans also mate for life, which is an interesting fact. I know so many of you are waiting for this promise, this marriage promise, and through this prophetic picture of transformation in these swans, the Lord is saying he's preparing you for that person that he has ready for you, or that person that he is preparing for you. You're both being prepared for each other, and he's going to bring you together. So receive this word of encouragement. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.